Come and dream with me.
Hello, welcome to What Do You Want to Watch, the Spoiler Network's premier media podcast. Every week we get together and talk about movies, TV, and online content and help answer the question, if Twitter is dead, where does film Twitter go? Don't know, let us know. It is a very important question. I'm your host, Ashley Hobley. Joining me today, Dylan Blight.
It'll be really weird. So it'll be like, film Threads, film
Blue
Sky,
film Mastodon.
Film Mastodon. No, that's
Film
why
Hive.
Mastodon file. Yeah, that one. Yeah, Film Hive works. Film Mastodon is not a good name. The rest sound at least somewhat okay.
The movie Mastodon.
Nah.
No?
I reckon Mastodon's done now that I've said this out loud. That's the end of Mastodon.
Just killed. You're like, oh fuck, Dylan's off Mastodon. Dead.
No.
Sell it to Elon.
Yeah.
Merge.
Who cares?
Alright. On today's episode of What Do You Want to Watch, we'll be discussing what I watched, Cherie talking about some film news, give it some thumbs to trailers, and talk about this week's top 3. Over on this podcast feed, you might have noticed, we've got a spoiler cast up for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, the latest entry in the Indiana Jones franchise, with the returning Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. This time directed by James Mangold, also starring Phoebe Waller-Bridge and Antonio Banderas for a little bit, and Mads Mikkelsen. He's the main bad guy. Broad Holbrook's in there as well. In which Indiana Jones chases down a Dial of Destiny. Dylan, do you want to share your non-spoilerly thoughts on the new
I feel like
Indiana
my
Jones
non-spoiler thoughts and spoiler thoughts are the same, but yeah, it was alright. Hey, first half was good. Sort of absolutely destroys its momentum halfway through. But up until that point, I thought it was in for a pretty good Indiana Jones film, and then it just becomes like it was a film. I've already forgot about it.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on the same page where I was very much enjoying it up to a certain point, a point that we both pinpointed was the point that the movie ground to a halt and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Yeah, it's a enjoyable enough experience, I guess. It's cool seeing Harrison Ford excited to be in movies again. Phoebe Waller-Bridge is really fun. Mads Mikkelsen is not the best Mads Mikkelsen villain, but it's a solid Mads Mikkelsen villain. Because he can't do any worse than that. Yeah, I mean, it's totally fine. I mean, visually it's quite interesting. Like, obviously, a big point has been made of like the de-aging stuff. There's a very long sequence in which they go back to 1945, end of the World War II, fighting Hitler. And Harrison Ford looks pretty good. Probably some of the best de-aging technology that we've seen so far.
I did say funny. Someone did the GIF of like at the start of the movie where the bag's pulled off his head and it reveals him. And then I think the tweet just said something. Tweets. Talk about my can, people. The tweet said, when you see this face, you didn't imagine the voice of an 80-year-old man coming out of the body.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, you can understand why it was so much money was spent on this movie for the de-aging trilogy. But yeah, it's fine. Do I recommend going to see it in the cinemas? Probably.
I reckon if you want to watch it at the cinema. I think there's enough spectacle here. If you care about this movie, watch it at the cinema, because like it's definitely going to be more enjoyable on the big screen and everything like that. But yeah. It's still just not like,
it's a hard ask.
If you don't care about Indiana Jones, I'm not going to say like rush out to watch this. But if you like the other ones and you want to watch it, and you're like, oh, I might wait for Netflix, I'd be like, well, again, it's a fucking action blockbuster. Like, if you care enough to want to watch it later, I'd say just go watch it at the cinema. Personally. Right. At least the first half of the movie has some really good action scenes that we did enjoy, that I think is worth watching on the cinema. Yeah.
That's true. But yeah, it definitely falls off a cliff. And, that's just in our opinion, because I've seen a lot of people very positive on it. I think it's got a pretty high audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. The critic score has gone up considerably since it's been properly released, like all the non-Ken people watched it. The score has gone up. So what? It's sitting at 69 on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment, and
Nice.
it is nice. I mean, should stay there, not move at all. An 88% audience score. So, yeah, check it out in the cinemas, I guess. So I finally got the chance to go out and watch Elemental. So, of course, this is the latest film from Pixar, directed by Peter Son, who previously did The Good Dinosaur, which I've never seen.
I've seen that one, actually.
Yeah?
I just wanted to fill that in just because it might shock you.
Yeah. That movie is obviously one of the least liked Pixar
yeah,
films.
I didn't love it. So
no, yeah. So Peter Song gets his second chance. This time it's set in a world in which elements, or like fire, earth, and water and air creatures coexist in a one city called Element City. But like it's a pretty clear I guess it's a New York City like kind of pool where at the end, like, and 5 people are like Asian people. And it's kind of like a romantic comedy sort of, where you've got this fire girl called Amber, who, her parents came to Element City leaving all their family behind and like giving sacrifices, first generation immigrants. So she feels like she needs to be the perfect daughter and do all the things that the good daughter would do, and like take over the family business and that sort of stuff. And she meets Wade, who's a emotional water thing. And they strike up some sort of chemistry, through the power of city permits.
sure, that's a sentence.
He works for the city, and they've got a bunch of city violations, like plumbing violations. So he has to report it, and now they have to work together to stop all this water leakage happening in her family business. Otherwise, they're going to lose the business. Crazy, I enjoyed it. I think it is very beautiful to look at. Obviously, it is not visually as striking as like some other films, like Spider-Verse or like the Puss in Boots and that kind of stuff. Like, it's not instantly clear, like the beauty of the film. I don't think, or it's not so different from the norm, I think, is probably the best explanation. But it is incredibly beautiful, incredible work by Pixar. So much incredible lighting, because obviously she's a fire creature, so she puts off a certain amount of light, and like he's also a water creature, so the light going through the water creature causes different lighting effects and that kind of stuff. Really interesting world that I feel like you don't get enough time in, unfortunately. There's lots of cool little things with like the elements and that kind of stuff. The way they get around and how they exist, and like all the different foods there's so many probably like funny jokes like in the backgrounds of different signs for like businesses and that kind of stuff, of offering different services and that kind of thing. But it's hard. It's like a really solid romance, but also a fantastic like immigrant story about this girl trying to find, the balance of chasing your dreams and then doing what you think you have to do for your family, which is such a common theme in immigrant movies and that kind of stuff. So I really dug it. I would have loved more of the world and that kind of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of spin-off. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there is a Elemental Plus sometime in the future, much in the way there was a Zootopia Plus. See a bunch of shorts or something like that.
Not doing well at the box office though.
It's doing solid, I think. At least here in Australia, it was number 1 for the last couple of weeks. I feel like it did well that it came out like at school holiday time. I'm not sure. Obviously, it didn't do fantastic numbers in the US. But what is at the moment?
It's sort of sad that when you like, but like this plus Indiana Jones, like major things that you'd assume would always do well. You're like,
yeah, it's like it's important. Like, there's so many different layers as to why, why this movie didn't do as well as other Pixar movies. Whether it's Pixar being constantly shafted straight to Disney Plus, and everybody's like, "Oh, we'll just wait 31 days and it'll come to Disney Plus. We'll watch it then." Through to there was barely any marketing. I don't think anybody who wasn't. It's easy for me to say there's no marketing because like everything is curated to, market what the algorithm thinks is best for you.
Yeah.
So not necessarily, I'm not necessarily the target demographic for Elemental marketing, but I didn't see anything for about anything. If we weren't doing a podcast, it's like, or I wasn't into film news, like, would I really know about this movie coming out? And the story, I don't think the story itself, it's not really a kids movie, which is the crazy. It's like I said, there's a bunch of stuff about city permits and like regulations, and then there's an adult romance. There's not a lot there for children to grasp onto, other than like the important messages and that kind of stuff. Not that animated films need to be for children. They're animation is
they're cinema.
But if your target demographic is kids in general, you would expect it to be a bit more of a kids movie. But yeah, I would recommend checking it out in the cinema because it is a very good looking movie, as you would expect from Pixar, and yeah, very pretty. Dylan, we've both finished watching the first season of Silo, the Apple TV Plus series starring Rebecca Ferguson, in which a bunch of people have been living in a silo over many generations after some sort of event.
We don't know
why, but it's been several. We don't know why, but it's not today. Is Silo this year's Severance?
So far, yes. Like, as far as like it's definitely the best show to come out of Apple TV this year, which is saying something because Jason Segel one was very good as well,
and there was another season of
Shrinking
Ted Lasso.
was very good as well. Yeah, there was another season of Ted Lasso, but yeah, Silo's definitely. I'd probably have to think more safe. I would say it's my favorite show this year so far.
Wow.
Trying to think what else has been. What else do I like this year?
Was Breaking Bad?
I don't know. No. Off the top of my head, no, there's no Breaking Bad. There's no Better Call Saul. Fucking rest in peace. But no, it's definitely one of the best shows of the year, easily so far. I've been loving watching it week by week. You were only you binge watch to catch up. So I've been having a true experience over here, Ash, week by week.
Living the experience of like, oh, what's going on?
And it is a absolutely stellar show. The pacing, the reveals, the moments. It's got this fantastic cast. Rebecca Ferguson is amazing in it. All the little characters who you think aren't getting much screen time for the first like 4 or 5 episodes suddenly become very important in the last second half of the season. And like, yeah, I thought it was absolutely fantastic. And the way it ends, I was like, what the fuck? Very tempted to just go look up spoilers for books, but I won't because I'm like, that's how much I just want to know what's happening.
Yeah. There was a double twist at the end. Like, what? What?
Yeah. So very keen. I was very happy to see they already confirmed season 2's happening. So good. More people watch it so I can get the whole fucking story. Make sure it doesn't get cancelled. Every show I like now, I'm like, please.
Yeah.
It's good.
I mean, yeah, it's hard to tell with Apple TV because they haven't really canceled anything yet from memory.
Not really.
I mean, nothing that they've done a second season of.
I mean, C's up to 3 seasons and stuff like this that shows the shit.
The morning show got another 3 seasons or whatever. So
yeah,
I think fantastic. Like, even though I did like binge watch the last few episodes, I'm like, I need to be caught up because I know it's going to have some sort of crazy ending, and it certainly does. The build up of the incredible season, like all the characters, like the Billings character, I thought was a really interesting character to build up the season. It's crazy. Who was it? Harriet Walters? Harriet Walter, who plays Martha. the almost
Yeah.
mother figure to Rebecca Ferguson's character. She was in the season finale of Severance. Then she was in the season finale of Ted Lasso. And now she's in this show. Fantastic year. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, just the arc of Rebecca Ferguson's characters over the season, like just the slow reveal of the mystery she's trying to solve. I appreciate the show giving you a lot of answers, and then like here's a bunch more questions. There's like it did give me the same feeling that you had when I watched the end of Severance, where you felt like you knew so many things, and then like crazy reveals happened, and you're like, that's why I'm like. And I feel like this show has also had that like same slow burn. I don't think it had like a massive audience.
This is a good slow burn though. This is a slow burn I can appreciate.
No, but like also the slow burn build of the audience, I feel as well. Like
people
we're still in the
about it.
early days of people like spreading the good word.
People are going to be talking about this later in the year. We'll. I think this will take off once we figure out what social media app we can talk about it on.
Yes.
It'll help us be able to spread the good word.
I mean, Apple TV out here trying to keep Tidwell alive by putting out the first episode.
Like here's the whole fucking first episode.
Here's the whole fucking episode. Check this. Use this for one of your 600 views, Elon. Which is, I don't think I've ever seen another series do that to date. Which is,
I've seen first episodes go up on YouTube.
Yeah, but not on actual social media.
Not
on the worst possible platform to watch it on.
I was like,
short of putting it on your Apple Watch. I don't know. Yeah, just craziness. So, Silo, check it out. It's 10 episodes. It's a fantastic ride. Crazy production design. It's such an interesting Silo to see in that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I know I said it. I just want to reiterate again because I feel like it's kind of performance that won't get enough attention. I actually generally believe Rebecca Ferguson is very fucking good in this. It's a very nuanced performance, but like there was that moment where she's watching a certain video in the last like 2 episodes of someone, and the amount of like stuff happening amongst her like eyes and face and stuff like is like the problem with this role is that she's a character on a mission most of the time, and she's keeping a lot of her emotions she's
purposely
emotionally stunted.
Yeah, but like she's very fucking good in the show, I think.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Robbins and Common also get some love.
Yeah, they are both good as well. Yeah,
both pretty good. All right, Dylan, you finally got around to watching Becky. This is the Joel McHale movie, right? So it's got to be hilarious.
Yeah. So the second one came out this year, and I remember the trailer or whatever. That has Sean William Scott, is that his name? Stifler? No, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So that one's come out, and I was like, that's not out to watch yet, but I was trying to prepare myself because I want to watch it. Yeah. So I was like, fuck, I never got around to watching the first one, so I should watch the first one before that comes out. But yeah, so Becky, the first one is the wildest cast for a movie. But it's so you've got this girl played by Lulu Wilson, Becky. She goes out to a cabin with her dad, who's played by Joel McHale, and they're there with his new partner, who whatever her name is, and she's like got her son there, right? So there's 4 of them there. Becky's mum passed away, and like that's something she's dealing with, and it's the first time she's back there, so she's a little bit upset and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, on the other side of the movie, you have Kevin James playing a full-blown Nazi, which is not the thing I would expect. And
the King of Queens.
Yeah. And by full-blown Nazi, I mean swastika tattooed on the back of his head, massive beard. Like, it is, like, he's full on, right? It's Kevin James. Like, you've never seen Kevin James before. Very weird, but appreciate him going for the wild swing. And they break out of they're like on a prison transport vehicle and whatever. They manage to escape, and you guess what happens next. Of course, they come across the home, and they're there for a MacGuffin, basically, which is like some key that he wants, which I guess leads to some like riches or something. They never actually tell you, which I don't mind because I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. But Anyway, Becky goes fucking Home Alone R-rated on these group of Nazis, basically is what it is. So she's trying to protect her family, she's trying to stop the bad guys, all these sorts of things. But yeah, it's a little, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, like 16 or whatever. 16-year-old girl versus some Nazis is the movie. Yeah, it's all right. It's like, it's stupid at times. The cast is so silly. I think they knew between casting like Joel McHale, Kevin James. Like, it's just the movie has oddness about it, and the way it's shot, and you can tell it's not supposed to be like super serious or anything, even though it's got like Nazis as as the like the dude lead bad guy and everything. But I enjoyed it for what it was. Had some like pretty good kills. I thought Lily Wilson did a good job playing Becky. And yeah, I'm keen to check out the second one whenever it pops up on VOD here in Australia at some point. I think it's called The Wrath of Becky or some shit. I can't remember.
Yeah, The Wrath of Becky.
Yeah.
Crazy, because I thought the person who started this movie was what's her name? Mackenzie Davis.
No.
I'm like, no, that's not her.
Nope, not her at all.
And then I go to the Wikipedia page, and they're using a picture of her from 2017 when she's promoting Annabelle Creation, and she's got it. What, she's 17 now, so using a photo when she's like 11. Crazy.
Why?
Update that Wikipedia.
I think the thing she'd most be known from, Lily Wilson, would be The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Probably.
All this, I guess.
Or this now, I guess. Yeah. Because the fact it got second one, I'm like, okay, the first one must have hit like sort of a cult following or something.
Yes. All right.
But anyway, yeah, the same movie.
Yeah. Dylan, you watched a movie called Candyland. What sort of sugary goodness was this?
This was like I liked this. Hold on. I'll say I liked 70% of this. So this is like I have no idea why I watched this either. I literally think I got done watching something, and then I clicked on, like, it come up like on Apple TV when the credits was playing for that movie, Becky. It was like suggested new movies or something. So I was like, I guess because horror genre, it's like, this thing's available to rent now, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's got a poster with like a girl with a fucking cross with a knife coming out of it, like at a trucker yard. Very like sort of grindhouse looking poster. Grabbed my attention. I was like, all right, I read the blurb and I went, fuck it. I'm sitting here, let's go. I'll put another movie on. Sometimes you just dive in. No trailer. Go. But yeah, Candyland, it is about a group of sex workers who are like sort of working out of this one particular truck stop. That's what they do. They sort of live there. They've got like their their mother hen or whatever their official name is, I guess, that looks after them and stuff like that. And they're working out of here. And the majority of this movie is when it's just dealing with them as characters. The movie is very like, I was reading about it afterwards. It is supposed to like shine a light on this sort of this industry, and like people, like, this is a real thing. Obviously, like sex workers will just sort of stay at these motels and like work out of them, and like it's a real part of I don't want to say like worldwide culture, but definitely American culture sort of like life. And like the majority of the movie like focusing on that stuff, what they have to deal with. Because there's the three main girls, and then there's a guy played by Owen Campbell, who's fucking popping up in a lot of shit I'm watching lately. He's also in X, is why I keep spotting him. But anyway, he so you got them, and then the where stuff starts to get to weird is you got this girl played by Olivia, whatever her name is, Remy. She shows up, and she's like part of this like weird religious cult who you like meet at the start of the movie, and then she rocks up, and the girls all take her in, and then they like start trying to take care of her and stuff, and then there's this so then you've got weird religious cult stuff happening on the side, and then slowly, of course, people start dying, and you're trying to work out who it is. The back end of the movie, when it sort of just goes full blown slasher and people are dying, I was like, like it was sort of just so paint by numbers. It sort of ruined it a bit for me. But the first 70%, this very like sort of grindhouse like movie focused on sex workers out of a truck stop thing, but not done in a like way that was treating those characters badly. Like, it was very like sort of respective, I think, of those like these characters, these fake characters, but also real people, I guess, that would do that do jobs like this. Like, yeah, I really enjoyed that part. So it was sort of 70-30 on this one.
All right. Explain to me how you got around to watching Body Brokers.
Same director.
I'm like, what's the connection?
So I finished watching Candyland. And I went, that was pretty good. Like, I remember I got to the end and I'm thinking, I like 70% of this movie. So I look up the director. Director's name is John Swab. And I go, I've never watched any of this guy's stuff. I start reading about him, start reading about his stuff, just doing a little bit of research. I was like, oh, he does like a wide variety of stuff. Like, he's not like, because I come off Candyland and I'm going, okay, so grindhouse horror thing, is this what he does? And I'm looking and I was like, oh no, there's a pretty like wild direction of stuff here. But I guess a lot of it is my connecting fabric I found for him based on two movies is the people in the background of American culture, I think, is like sort of what he's going for with these different stories, like the dirty side of America that you may not hear about, sort of thing. So Body Brokers is about it was okay. Again, I think there's some pacing issues with this movie, but I generally enjoyed the story and the cast. Like Jack Kilmer, main character in this, is very good. Alice Egelhart, she's very good in it. Melissa Leo's got a small part in it, she's pretty good. Jessica Roth is in it, she's good. And then Michael Kenneth Williams in it is very good, because that's, he's very good in most things. Frank Grillo has a small part, but whatever. The plot for this, though, is you meet the two main characters at the start. They're played by Alice and Jack, and they're like these drug addicts. And then Michael Kenneth Williams comes in as this character Wood, and he's like, he just like meets him in a car park and offers to pay for lunch, and then starts introducing like, I know how to get you rehab. I know how to get you rehab. But the thing the movie does is it goes and introduces this thing I knew absolutely nothing about, which is like the dirty side of treatment cover. So what he does is he's recruiting, he brings people in to get treatment. And if they don't have like healthcare, which they don't, then the way they get money and it gets paid for it. And then he gets like a rebate, a commission of bringing in junkies. Like, and they explain it all, how it works for like the American system or whatever. And he's fucking like making a killing. So what ends up happening is he ends up doing, he gets Jack Kilmer's character, like he gets clean in the first like half hour of the movie or whatever. And he says he wants to come work for Wood. And then the two of them, like, you're there. Yeah. And then the rest of the movie is this like spiraling dark side of having to see, like, they're like not really helping anyone. Like, it's all about the money, of course. Like, it's just they're like, it's a very dark, seedy side of the American recovery system that I knew absolutely nothing about. The film had some pacing issues, but very interesting subject matter nonetheless.
Awesome. All right. So I watched the American Gladiators documentary. Now, Dylan, do you remember Gladiators?
I was a big fan of Australian gladiators. I had toys and everything.
Really? That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
So American Gladiator documentary is the 30 for 30 ESPN documentary about exploring the American Gladiators. This is told mostly through interviews with one of the creators, Johnny C. Ferraro, kind of documenting how the show originated, and then kind of going over the broad strokes of like the show's run on American television. It ran for like 7 seasons. It definitely felt very broad. The director's interest came in Johnny Ferraro. He's want to not talk about his business partner and co-creator Dan Carr, and like apparently he purchased the life rights to Dan Carr's life story, and they wouldn't let him interview him as part of the documentary. Very weird. So the documentary, it's in 2 parts, but it like takes this tangent where they're kind of exploring Dan Carr's history and how he became involved. Apparently the whole Dan Carr kind of came up with the concept of gladiators. The show actually originated in like was it Erie, Pennsylvania. All the like iron workers there would like kind of compete in these like weird games every now and then, and like they pulled that from that. They like had like a charity event. And Johnny C. Ferraro was like at the time he was previously a Elvis impersonator for a long period of time. Who Johnny Carr worked as a bouncer and like sort of protected him in events and that kind of stuff. They built up a friendship and that kind of thing. So he asked him to come a host or like help with running this charity event. He did. Johnny Ferraro decides to like film it, and then they shop the idea around and eventually gets picked up. But Johnny Ferraro kind of like pushes Dan Carr out of it. There's a whole bunch of other people who are like pushed out by Johnny Ferraro's greed and that kind of stuff. It's very interesting in the kind of like seedy business kind of thing. Interestingly, like a bunch of the gladiators did not want to be interviewed because they've all got issues with Johnny Ferraro and but the funniest thing about this story, so there was a 2008 revival of Gladiators in the US, and someone points out, wasn't that the year there was a writer strike? And like, yeah. So then they brought the Gladiators back, hosted by Hulk Hogan. Didn't run very well. The show originally got picked up because of a writer's strike. So the only reason American Gladiators was ever on the air was because there was a writer's strike, and they didn't have enough scripted content to put up on television. So look forward to Gladiators.
Yeah.
Coming back Gladiators, yeah. Craziness. But you know what else is crazy? What I'm about to talk about in the mandatory Netflix segment of the show.
I was about to say, did you watch this one or did you watch it after?
I'd watched like part of. I'd like started this one a while ago. I'm like,
okay,
whatever.
Because I want to watch this one you're about
this
to talk
one,
about. Yeah,
this one, the Muscles and Mayhem,
yeah,
the unauthorized story of American Gladiators.
Yeah.
So I started watching this, and this is much more interesting. I guess it's
good.
told. Obviously, it's got all the gladiators involved. Like they're pretty much. It's told from their point of view. They're driving the story. They're recounting how these kind of things happened.
Just watching the trailer, they're all talking heads, and everyone in the trailer is like, "Man, shit's fucked. Shit is fucked. Wait, everything was fucked."
I mean, yeah, like them. I think it was interesting, like watching the two, in companion to each other, because then, like, I think there's like one main gladiator who read like most of the show called Gemini. He's in both documentaries, extensively. A lot of the people who were in the ESPN documentary, weren't, according to what they talk about in this Netflix documentary, were not in the show very much. Okay. Or like they've got this character Malibu, one of the gladiators called Malibu, and like one of the other gladiators is like full on shit talking him, saying he's only there to be a pretty boy. And it was only on the show because he was big and muscly. He wasn't a competitor, you know. So he got hurt and then was out of the show or whatever. But then on the other hand, you've got another dude who like seriously injured himself in one of the shows and like is pretty much living in complete pain now. So it's like, and addicted to Oxycontin and all this kind of stuff. So I mean, there's stuff in that one that is super dark as well. So this one kind of documenting, like this one gives, I feel like, a more season by season like kind of run through of what the show is, at least like the peak period of the show, or at least where these like main
2-3 episodes or something.
I want to say 5.
Okay,
5 part. Yeah, kind of documenting the origins. Like the first season where it was like shit. First half of a season, it was terrible. It looks like nothing like what we saw in Australia or whatever. It's like a couple of people in like trunks running at each other, no protective gear, nothing, no helmets, like people getting nearly murdered or whatever. I think the funniest part of like the thing they do, I think it must be a common thing in America. They like kind of kidnap people to come be in the studio audience. They like went to Universal Studios and said like, "Oh, let's do a studio," advertising as if it's going to be some studio tour, and they just stick them in the audience of American Gladiators. And because because the way they were doing the show early on was they took them like several hours to between setups of the different games and that kind of stuff. So yeah,
See
so it
why
wasn't.
that wouldn't be inviting as an audience member. Yeah.
No, yeah, to the point where if you go back and watch footage at the audience, if you go past like the first like stage of people, it's just cardboard cutouts of like plates with faces on them.
Nice.
Nice. But yeah, really interesting, like crazy things that you probably didn't realize or know about. Obviously, it's the American version, so it's like not as important to us, but like they did like a full tour, like a multi-city tour, which would have been freaking ridiculous. And yeah, obviously they were like talked about being on steroids and like all the like partying and stuff they were kind of doing, and then how much they kind of got screwed over on their deals and that kind of stuff. So I think yeah, this one is probably the one that's going to be more fun and more populist and more interesting, because I feel like all the gladiators are very charismatic and like have interesting stories and like that kind of stuff. They obviously have a lot of history and they're all quite happy to talk about this stuff. And the other one kind of like fills in interesting gaps, I feel like. So I would recommend this one over the ESPN documentary, which is good because this one's probably easy to find. It's on Netflix. All right. Dylan, you watched Run Rabbit Run, the Australian film starring Sarah Snook about rabbits.
I don't actually think it's about well, there's a rabbit in it, but that's fine. It was okay. I was hoping, I was obviously hoping for more out of this one, but it's another, what genre do we put this in? This is the dealing with trauma horror genre. So this is that's what that genre of movies.
Isn't that just elevated horror?
Yeah, okay. If you want to get it's elevated horror. It's fucking elevated horror. That lovely term everyone loves. But you got Sarah Snook, so obviously she plays this mum. She's got the kid Mia. Her kid starts acting all fucking. Well, at the start of the movie, she's perfectly fine, right? So she's Damon Harriman, or however you say his name, plays the like ex-husband. He's like got a new partner now and a kid, and but like everything seems like semi-normal. Like Sarah's a bit stressed. But she seems like an easily stressed person, but like whatever, like stuff seems fine. And then all of a sudden, Mia starts acting really fucking weird. She starts like, she finds this rabbit at home. She brings it in. She starts talking about being this. She keeps calling herself. I can't remember the name now. But like Alice or what? I think it's Alice or something like that. Like because that I guess it's the bunny like imagery and stuff like that. But Alice, which is actually the name of Sarah's dead sister. And she keeps calling herself that and saying she's Alice and she's come back, and all this weird sort of stuff starts going down from there. She's wearing this rabbit mask and whatever else. Sarah Snook's really good in it. The little girl's good in it. Decent, has some like good cinematography at times and stuff like that. I just feel like it's it really does to me. It just felt like another case of a short, like a 30-minute. There's a good 30-minute horror story, like good 30-minute elevated horror here, short, but being stretched out to an hour 40. Just sort of the pacing goes all the fuckery. Like it's a real like stretch out to build up moments, and I don't know if the payoff is going to be enough for some people. I don't feel like I don't know. I don't feel like the reveal, if you want to call it that, of like what it's all about is, and the revelation for everything is done very like in a like it's fine, but I don't think it's done well. So yeah, I don't know. It's probably around like a 5.
All right. I checked out the new animated film on Netflix, Nimona. So this is directed by Nick Bruno and Troy Quine, based on the graphic novel by N.D. Stevenson, with voices by Chloe Grace Moretz and Riz Ahmed and Eugene Lee Yang and Francis Conroy. It's set in this really interesting futuristic medieval futuristic world. Like, it's as if medieval times happened. Everybody was like, we've perfected civilization, and then technology is built on top of it. So there's still knights and that kind of stuff, and there's still a lot of like those sort of buildings, a lot of the like aesthetics. There's still like a bunch of crossbows that like instead of guns and that kind of stuff. But then they've got flying cars and like technology and slates and video and that kind of stuff. So the movie starts with Ballister Boldheart, who's played by Riz Ahmed, who is a commoner who gets to become a knight, which is not kind of against the law. He's going to be like the first kind of person. But then he gets framed for the murder of the queen and has to go on the run. And while he's on the run, he runs into Nimona, who is a shape-shifting person who likes chaos and wants to team up with Balthazar to cause chaos and stuff. But he kind of just wants to clear his name and find out who framed him, who killed the queen, and why. So then they kind of team up to do all kind of fun shenanigans. I really enjoyed it. I think it's a fantastic story, really interesting messages in there, interesting themes, like talking about, like, kind of exploring the idea of, like, stories and, like, how much you can believe them. I guess it's weirdly like an anti-religion.
I'm in.
Like, it's like, what, you just believe stuff because that's what they told you? You haven't, like, examined it yourself and that kind of stuff. It's very anti-conformist. But then it's got a lot of heart as well. I feel really enjoyed Nimona. Really, she's a fun character. I think the animation is really interesting.
I was going, like, I still want to watch this, but is Chloe Grace Moretz fine? Because, like, obviously the character's a lot younger than, like, this. She's a lot older now if people don't know.
Oh, yeah, believe it or not.
Yeah.
No, I think she's good. You know,
okay.
I can't imagine anybody else in the role, but I mean,
Okay.
Just because, yeah, she just kind of fits the angsty kind of teen. She has some really fun animations and, like, changes into things. There's a really weird sequence where she turns into, like, a demon child. She's, like, trying to get, like, a courier to come help her in a dark alley. She's talking, like, really creepy, which is really fun to watch. I think it's real. I would have loved to again explore a little bit more of the world. I feel like, you know, it feels a little bit rushed. That would be my complaint. Like, it feels like the events of the film go very quickly by. I feel like it would have been nice to have been stretched out a little bit more. But even, like, getting this on the screen is kind of a minor miracle. I don't know, because obviously it was being made by Blue Sky. Blue Sky gets acquired by Disney. Disney's like, nah, no, we're not. This isn't going to be our first LGBTQ positive film. So let's can this, and somehow it's got picked up by Netflix and Annapurna, and we can all watch it. I actually don't know, like, how much of this was actually from Blue Sky, because, like, I feel like it was cancelled.
Cancelled a while ago.
Yeah, cancelled in 2021. So I guess, but it's not like they completely started from scratch. So I assume they acquired, like, the actual footage or work that they did,
finished it,
previously or something, which I feel is very uncommon in Hollywood. So,
it's surprising because usually that sounds like a sure case for this to come out terribly. But I mean, based everything you're saying adds up to what I've seen.
Yeah, it is
one of the 600 tweets I can read, where people are saying that it's pretty good.
It is pretty good. So yeah, I would recommend you check it out because I think you dig it. All right, that's everything in our watch history for this week. Let's move into a little bit of film news. And we know what Greta Gerwig is going to be working on next. Ready or not, it looks like we're heading back to the land of Narnia for another adventure with the Lion Witch and a certain magical wardrobe, and it's coming with a very hot commodity attached. Multi-hyphenate talent Greta Gerwig is currently riding hard on pre-release hype for the upcoming Barbie movie, but it sure seems she's already getting her ducks in a row for her next major project. In her interview with the New Yorker, which had a lengthy profile, they just casually confirmed that that Greta Gerwig has a deal set up with Netflix to write and direct at least 2 films in the upcoming reboot of the Chronicles of Narnia, based on author C.S. Lewis's enormous children's series. Yeah, in this article they say this would only be the latest of out of left field turns for Greta Gerwig after shifting focus from acting to solo directing. and then making Lady Bird, and then a remake of Little Women, and then the Barbie movie. So Dylan, what are your thoughts? I can't remember. Did we talk about them remaking the Chronicles
I
of Narnia? I feel like that is something that we've talked
I
about.
feel like it is, but I don't.
I like scrubbed through like previous episode thumbnails in case there was like use that in one of those. But no, I couldn't find anything.
Well, my thoughts on like if you'd like without getting into the Greta Gerwig thing, I'm always gonna have like a about Narnia because I really loved Narnia as a kid, but the movies have never been fantastic. In fact, my favorite one is the one I watched as a kid, which I think was the straight to TV movie of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Used to rent it on VHS from the school library when I was in like grade 4, 5, 6. This is prior to the Tilda Swinton early 2000s thing. I think it was just like an ABC production or something like that. So, but I read all the books, like rented them from the library and everything like that. So, like I like the Narnia, the Chronicles of Narnia as a franchise, but obviously the movies have been very hit and miss. And mainly because I feel like, especially as I got older and you start to realize the books are sort of weirdly like fantasy, but like have such a religious undertone, but like it's almost like they're anti-religion. Maybe that's why they never wanted to do them properly. I mean, you can't once you get older and you start realizing you have a lion laying on this table being sacrificed, coming back to life, like like there's just so much religious undertones to this franchise. But that's also, I guess, the interesting part to getting someone like Greta Gerwig to do it. I'm like, okay, I don't have the same reaction to everyone else did. I find it weird. So people, film Twitter, while we can still call them that, reaction to this has been, it's almost like they thought they lost her for one, like it was Barbie, but then she was going to be back to making like indie movies, sort of thing. And people are like, no, like how dare she? Like this is terrible.
How dare she want to make huge movies and make a bunch of money?
And I'm like, is it even like? I don't think it's like a money thing for her, but like, what if she generally just likes making?
I don't know. I saw the quote that she wants to make big blockbuster movies.
Yeah, what if she generally just has an interest in big blockbuster movies now? Because the other thing is, people like, let's not forget the fact for the last like 20 years of her career, she's either been acting, writing, recently directing, but she spent the majority of her early career writing, acting, and producing indie movies, big, like small budget indie movies. So fuck her for wanting to like I don't share in that sentiment. Narnia is a weird franchise to jump aboard, but you know what? I'm definitely more keen on this with someone like her attached to it than you would have been. I am, be it random other person, generic white dude. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like Greta Gerwig, hopefully, especially even more so if I watch Barbie, and I'm like, it's as good as we hope. And she proves herself, I guess, in the big budget space, blockbuster space with that in particular. Then I'm gonna put my hand up and say I'm all aboard the Greta Gerwig Narnia train.
Yeah, I'm on board as well. I think so reading apparently 2018 in October 2018 there's it was announced that Chronicles of Narnia was being acquired by Netflix, I guess, or being made into a bunch of films by Netflix. So it's been in the works. They've like been trying to make it for like 5 years. So why not attach yourself to like one of the rising stars of Hollywood and like one of the biggest name directors currently with a massive film about to come out. I really don't have much of attachment to the Chronicles of Narnia. Like, I've watched the movies in cinemas, and that was it, kind of.
I didn't even watch
the kid really wanted to eat Turkish delight.
I didn't even watch the second one they did.
I know they made one here in Queensland. the one with the ship.
Yeah, Dawn Treader or whatever.
Yeah, that was a big thing. Never saw that movie. But yeah, that's cool. Greta Gerwig, get that bag. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, this is the one. Did you see that? I just looked it up in case you didn't. I don't know if she was doing it while I was talking, but 1988 TV miniseries It's a TV miniseries, not a movie. But I think the VHS I was watching must have like got rid of the miniseries part and just linked them together. But yeah, so 8 episodes, 1988, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Starred, who we got? Richard Dempsey. There you go. Okay. Go off.
Wow.
But this is good. If you can find this, I suggest it.
Right.
I haven't watched it for years. However, I have very fond memories.
Do a Chronicles of Narnia.
I have a lot more fond memories than this because the thing is, everything in this, of course, no, BB.
No.
It is. It's a BBC straight thing.
Yeah.
It's all costumes and stuff. It has like a more natural like feel. And then the movie, the 2005 movie, it's all CGI fuckfest.
It's all CGI. All I remember of that movie is kid wants Turkish delight, gets upset when she won't get any more.
Yeah.
They go to the wardrobe. Tilda Swinton's some sort of witch, and James McAvoy's the goat.
Well, the other weird thing, all those are correct facts. But the other weird thing about the franchise in general is that the books, after they were released, and I think C.S. Lewis dies, and then like he when he was writing them, he did that whole thing. It's like wrote one first and then was writing prequels. But back then, before we had this universe stuff, he just wrote books and said they were set before. You didn't need to worry about like explaining it's a prequel. So then, but after, I will be interested to see in what order they choose to do the films. Like,
do this stuff.
Do they go to the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is considered the first book and is the first book,
well,
and the easiest is the entry point. However, chronologically, it is not the first in the franchise.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel like again Netflix. So I mean, I'm sure if they can find a way to make this huge franchise, there'll be people making prequels and sequels and a bunch of movies. So yeah.
Well, my other thing is, we're going deeper on this.
Yeah, sure.
In a combination of many factors, the books, the kids and everything, British. Author, British. 1988 series Dylan likes, British. What they do when they tried to make these 2005, late 2000 movies?
They're all British, right?
Nope, they weren't. They were acting British.
I'm pretty sure James McAvoy tells us
James McAvoy is British. They didn't make it British enough. Now, okay, I'm not going to pretend to be Kieran.
So the solution is get an American actress to direct.
But if they come out, Netflix is setting this in fucking America, I'm out.
No, of course not. They don't have wardrobes.
Because there's a part. No, that's a spoiler. There is a key part, not in The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. There's a key part in one of the other ones that, like a key scene I have in my mind from one of the books, right? Ever since I read it as a kid, imagining it. They've never done this book, but there's a key part that takes place in like London, like epic moment. And I cannot have, it's like if Netflix is the one place to finally do I think it's 7 books, 6 or 7 books. If Netflix is the one place to do all books finally, and I get to that moment I've had in my mind since I was like fucking 10, and they said it, in fucking Baltimore, I'm fucking done. Like, you can't do that to me. I've had this moment from this book in my mind for like my whole life.
No, I think they'll stick true. That's why Aslan will be voiced by Saoirse Ronan.
Why not?
She's British, technically.
Saoirse Ronan should play
United Kingdom.
The Ice Queen.
Put that out there.
The White Witch, yeah.
Yeah, that would actually be a cool fit. Other big news, we finally have our Superman and Lois. It's been confirmed. Finally. James Gunn has found his Superman and Lois after a lengthy search. David Corenswet and Rachel Brosnahan will star in Superman Legacy, the film that will launch DC's new universe under writer-director Gunn and his DC Studios co-boss Peter Safran. Of course, Corenswet and Brosnahan were among 6 actors who vied for the lead roles, with Gunn filming test screens over the June 17th weekend with Nicholas Hoult and Tom Brittney. Also in contention for Superman, and Emma Mackey and Phoebe Diviner in the running for Lois Lane. Yeah, I feel like this is a good fit. Everybody should be happy. Internet, I don't think has gone off too much.
There's nowhere to go off.
That's true. They might have killed it off a little bit. Of course, you've still got the Zack Snyder fans like upset that anybody else is playing Superman, but I'm happy because I called it ages ago. very happy that David Cornsweet is playing Superman because I feel like he's a good fit. Obviously, he's got that Christopher Reeves look, and obviously not a terribly overexposed actor. So that's very exciting. Also, Rachel Brosnahan, I feel like is a really interesting fit for Lois Lane if she brings any of her Marvelous Miss Maisel energy, doing a full-on roast of Superman with the comedy bits. It'll be a lot of fun. I feel like she's actually a really good fit with like James Gunn. So yeah, what do you think?
No, I don't care.
All right.
I mean, that's my honest thoughts. Is I'm like, I don't care. Like, whatever, man. Everyone's like getting so interested in the casting for this. They're like, "This is your Lois Lane as Superman." I'm like, cool. I've like nearly no thoughts on this. I think I'm at a nearly DC news give zero fucks about that thing. I don't know what it would take to get me excited about DC at this point, to be honest. Like, I just don't.
Money?
What, pay me to get excited? Or
yeah,
maybe if they want to pay me to get excited. But currently, I just don't give a fuck about DC. It's hard. It's nothing against James Gunn. It's just like I don't know why I care. I don't know why
you're not
care.
pumped for Aquaman?
No.
Or Blue Beetle?
No. So, like, they've got all their upcoming movies, I don't care about. The one that they've got in the cinema at the moment, I don't care about. The one they released prior to that, it's on streaming now. I think I can rent it if I want. I don't care about.
Shazam!
The only one I cared about, they cancelled.
Yeah.
So why do I care? They're like, here's your Superman and Lois Lane. I go, I don't know that Superman dude, but I see Ash making this funny joke on Twitter. I'm like, good for you. I'm like, Rachel Brosnahan. I'm like, sure, I can picture her as Lois. That's bad. Yeah, that was my thoughts.
All right. Let's pick you up a little bit. It was so they just announced the nominations for this year's Television Critics Awards. I'm pretty sure that's what TCA stands for. Yes, TCA Awards. And I'm just going to mention a couple of categories: individual achievement and drama. So they haven't got like gendered roles. So individual achievement and drama. The nominees are Kristen Baranski for The Good Fight, Kieran Culkin for Succession, Dominic Fishback for Swarm, Betty Gilpin for Mrs. Davis, Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us, Bella Ramsey for The Last of Us, Sarah Snook for Succession, Jeremy Strong for Succession, Rhea Seehorn for Better Call Saul. Interesting, she's nominated, not Bob Odenkirk.
I mean, look, let me put it this way. They should both be nominated, but if I had to pick one, and I reckon Bob Odenkirk would back me up, they got the right nom,
All right.
Now she needs to win.
Yeah. Individual achievement in comedy, the nominees are Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Ed Berry for The Bear, Harrison Ford for Shrinking, Bill Hader for Barry, Janelle James for Abbott Elementary, Natasha Lyonne for Poker Face, James Marsden for Jury Duty, and Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. And then the nominees for Best Program are Abbott Elementary, Andor, Better Call Saul, Poker Face, Succession, The Bear, The Last of Us, the other two, The White Lotus.
Can I just say, I don't think I've talked about it, but I've watched like the first 2 episodes. I'm just slowly watching that, the court case thing, whatever. What was that? You just said
Jury Duty.
Jury Duty. I watched the first 2 episodes, I think now. It's pretty funny. James Marsden.
We'll talk about it next week.
Like, I don't know if I have zero plans to binge watch it by next week, but like,
no, we'll talk about
okay.
Because it is an interesting setup.
It is an interesting setup, yeah.
All right, let's move into giving some thumbs to trailers. Of course, you can find all the trailers we're about to talk about in the show notes below. Let's kick things off with Heels Season 2. Created by Michael Waldron, starring Stephen Amell, Alexander Ludwig, Elson Luff, Mary McCormick, Kelly Berglund, Alan Maldonado, James Harrison, Roxton Garcia, and Chris Bauer. Season 2 begins after a spectacular showing at the South Georgia State Fair, and the Duffy Wrestling League's popularity is suddenly on the upswing. Hoping to seize the opportunity, Jack and his cohorts prepare for a possible business deal with a new streaming service that may propel them onto a national stage. But the past and its tragedies threaten to upset everything when Ace leaves Duffy and the dome in his rear view. Meanwhile, rival promotion Florida Wrestling Dystopia's vengeful frontman Gully comes calling. Dylan, what did you think of the first trailer for the new season of Heels?
Yeah, it looks really good. I mean, it looks like more heels. I don't really know. Like, I'll go one up, one down for the trailer. I feel like it was a fine enough trailer. I'm keen for more heels. I think that other thing I had was watching it, being reminded how annoyed I am that one of the plot lines for this show is actually like that women wrestler should be that girl should be allowed to wrestle. Like, I'm like, that's like sort of the one.
I think absolutely nobody said that.
That was like one of the storylines of the first season. Like, is like they have no women's division, and fucking Stephen Amell's character or whatever just being like, "No, you're bad, kind of women wrestlers." Like, and then watching the trailer,
is not what Stephen Amell sounds like at all. I know he's putting on an accent because that's
this city. But yeah, so I'll go one up, one down. I'm definitely keen to watch it. We both enjoyed the first season. But yeah, I CM Punk's in this. Let's hopefully didn't start a fight with anyone in the background. That's fine.
No, it's actually funny. What was his name again? Something rabies?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, biting motherfuckers. Yeah.
Biting motherfuckers. So we know what he was doing during his extensive break. And he brought his wife with him. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Nepotism.
Yeah.
That's what we want to see. Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I think it was a solid trailer for a second season of a TV show. They're trickier to do, I feel like, than something brand new. Yeah, I think they kind of set up a lot of the stakes and ideas, give us a hint of what exactly is going to happen over the season. It gives us glimpses of a lot of new characters. Get to see a bit of what's his name, Josh Segarra.
I'm keen for Josh Segarra.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and then what's happening with Ace? Okay, what are you doing, buddy?
He's been a fuckhead.
Is he? What do you think of the odds that he's doing the dude in the hoodie at the end?
I don't know.
That's not Ace.
It could be. All I know is Ace is a little bitch.
All right.
Put the belt on me. I'm fucking company. Fucking little bitch.
Great. So yes, Heels will be releasing on Stan starting July 28th, same day as the US. Next trailer, Happiness for Beginners, directed by Vicky Wright, starring Ellie Kemper, Luke Grimes, Nico Santos, Blythe Danner, and Ben Cook. A year after a divorce, 32-year-old Helen Carpenter lets her brother persuade her to sign up for a wilderness survival course. Through this experience, she discovers that you just have to get lost to find yourself. So, what do you think of this trailer?
Yeah, I'm going double thumbs down. This isn't a Dylan film. This is a very paint by numbers, feel good sort of. Go out here to find. I don't know. I got nothing. Yeah, double thumbs down. Not for me. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's one up, one down for me. I think it looks solid, like a plain, mediocre rom-com, I guess.
Is it a rom-com or is it just a straight romance? It's a little bit comedy.
It's, Dylan, she falls on the sharpest rock on the...
And then he touched her skin.
What are the odds that they're going to find stray dogs here in the middle of the wilderness? Pretty fucking unlikely. And I love seeing Nico Santos in more stuff. So... good for you, mate. So this is coming to Netflix on July 27th. Next trailer is for Full Circle, created by Ed Solomon, starring Zazie Beetz, Claire Danes, Jim Gaffigan, Gerald Jerome, Timothy Oliphant, CCH Pounder, and Dennis Quaid. An investigation into a botched kidnapping uncovers long-held secrets connecting multiple characters and cultures in present-day New York City. Tim, what do you think of this new series directed by Steven Soderbergh?
Yeah, double thumbs up. I know what the hell's going on, but yeah, cast is great. Looks really intriguing. Lots of hectic action and scenes and people yelling. And then it says directed by Steven Soderbergh, and I said, "Cool, I'm in." And yeah, double thumbs up.
This is double thumbs down for me. This is a terrible trailer. I don't know what the hell is going on. Why I should be interested. Who the hell these characters are. Why they're just they're doing exactly what you said, but I clearly have this opposite reaction. They're just yelling at the screen, saying random lines about how things will come back, opening
There's
safes.
a secret. You're not supposed to know. The secret's like part of the plot. They did something in the past.
Yeah, the secret they don't have is how to get my attention.
This speaks to things. I'm like, double thumbs up for this one, double thumbs down for the romance one. You're like, romance one, good. Weird Steven Soderbergh thing, bad.
All right, Full Circle is coming to binge on the 27th of July. Next trailer, Dreamin' Wilds, directed by Bill Pollard, starring Casey Affleck, Walton Goggins, Zoe Deschanel, Noah Jupe, Jack Dylan, Get Razor, Chris Messina, Beau Bridges. What if a childhood dream suddenly comes true, but 30 years later? That's what happened to singer-songwriter Donny Emerson. His dream of success suddenly and unexpectedly came true, but only as he was approaching 50 years old. And while it brought hopes of second chances, it also brought ghosts of the past and long buried emotions as Donny, his brother Joe, and their entire family came to terms with their newly found fame. Dreamin' Wild is an incredible true story of love, hope, guilt, family, and responsibility. Tell me what you think of this trailer, Phil. Dreamin' Wild.
Yeah, double thumbs off for the trailer. I know absolutely nothing about like what the this group is and like their music or anything like. And from my understanding, it's a more recent thing that happened in like the 2000s or whatever. That's where it's set, right? So
Chris Messina's character has to have the podcast, right?
I mean, surely.
No, like that. Like what? He's writing articles.
Yeah, no, that's
about records.
So,
I don't know.
Yeah, no, surely. Yeah, great cast and everything. Well put together trailer. I'm intrigued. So yeah, I'll go double thumbs up.
Yeah, I'll give it 2 thumbs up as well. Looks interesting. Interesting story. I guess the Christmas Santa thing feels a little on the nose. It seems very far-fetched that suddenly this record from 30 years would come back and be a big deal from obscurity. But it looks interesting.
I googled it. It says that's what's happened.
I mean, yeah, it says based on a true story. It's hard to believe, which is cool for a true story, I guess. Yeah, good cast. The funny thing that amused me was obviously they do the actor title cards, like, you know, where they show the character and the name comes up. They got one for Noah Jupe. They don't have one for Jack Dylan Grazer. Which of those two do you think is more famous?
Jack Dylan Grazer?
That would be my opinion as well.
Yeah.
So it's weird that he doesn't get a card. So yeah. All right. So this is coming to American audiences on August 4th. No Australian release date. Last trailer for this week. Five Nights at Freddy's. Directed by Emma Tammy. Starring Josh Hutcherson, Elizabeth Lale, Piper Rubio, and Matthew Lillard. A troubled security guard accepts a nighttime job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a once successful abandoned family entertainment center, where he discovers its 4 animatronic mascots, Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, move and kill anyone that is there still after midnight. Tell him, what do you think of trailer for Five Nights at Freddy's?
I'm going one up, one down. Like, I'm shocked that there's some sort of like plot. You know what I mean? But otherwise, like I've no care for this franchise or anything like that. I'm definitely intrigued to watch it because it's still one of the biggest like video game franchises of probably the last 10 years or whatever. Like, kids love this shit. There was a stage there where there was like up to Five Nights Freddy's. You'd look on the App Store and it was just all, you know, Five Nights Freddy's. Everyone just downloading these.
Seems like there's like at least 6 games.
Yeah, there's a million
at any given time.
So yeah, I'm keen to watch it. But yeah, I'll go one up, one down for the trailer. I've no obviously it doesn't help when I just don't care for the franchise or anything. But yeah, I'm shocked there's actual plot here. It seems like there's stuff that makes the idea of the game work, like somewhat for the sake of the movie. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll go one up, one down as well. Again, surprising there is plot. Surprising that they showed so much plot, I guess. It's like, hey guys, we need you to know there is actually a story here. There is characters. There is a reason that these animatronics are trying to murder these children. That's because they want to eat them? I don't know. Combine their souls. The dead souls have been fused inside these animatronics and they want other children to join them. any way you cut it, very messed up. Or it seems very unwise to bring your kid to your job in any context. I don't care if it's at nighttime. You know, pretty bad parenting, whatever. I don't know if it's a parent or he's just a legal guardian or whatever. But yeah, it looks fine. I think the thing that's concerning is it is releasing in America, in theaters, and on Peacock at the exact same time, which is regularly not a good sign. See Halloween Kills as a prime example. So, but yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's is releasing in Australian cinemas on the 26th of October.
I'd like to give a shout out to a trailer we talked about last week, which I recently saw in cinemas again. And I decided I hate the name of anymore. And that film is Force of Nature, The Dry 2. And I was sitting in the cinema, and when it popped up recently and it said The Dry 2, I was like, that's so fucking dumb. I hate it so much. Just as an extra note. I think I said I didn't like the title last time we talked about it, but then I had a visceral reaction, and I think it's ridiculous.
All right. Let's move into this week's top 3.
Definitely in the top 3.
This week's top 3 2023 films we've missed so far. So, Dylan, if you go to any single film website this past week, since it
best
hit July,
movies of 2023 so far,
there's been a best movies of 2023 so
not
far.
us though, 'cause we're a fake website.
That would require too much effort. Yeah, so I thought, here's what we got. What movies have we missed? Have we not watched that we think we should have by now? So yeah, Dylan, what's your number 3?
So I did go. I tried to.
This was actually one of the hardest lists, I think.
Yeah, I could have just gone for all the easy picks. I think like for instance, I don't have what's Wes Anderson's new one on here?
Asteroid City.
It's not out yet, right?
Because you can't see it. Yeah,
not out yet. However, I have some stuff on here that doesn't have Australian release dates that has been out for a while in America.
Oh, interesting.
So
I picked all stuff that I could have watched, but I've not.
Yeah, so I drew my line at stuff I know has an Australian release date that just isn't out yet. But my number 1 and number 2 are stuff that doesn't have Australian release dates but has been out in America.
Okay.
So I tried to make my own rules for.
Okay.
But my number 3
again, fun list, two fun different lists. All right.
My number 3 is an interesting one. So I actually went with Extraction 2.
Okay.
Because everyone's been talking about it, and I kind of want to watch it more now. Like the general vibe of, it's not great, but it's a bit of fun. But I'm also like, well, I have to make time to watch the first one. I'm not just jumping straight into the second one. So that means I have to watch Extraction 1 or I'll watch Extraction 2. Everyone said there's a really cool fight scene in it. I mean, if I get to the end of the year and this is like, it's definitely not going to be Mission Impossible quality or whatever, but it's a good fun action film. So I've been feeling a little bit messed out this past week. I've seen a few people saying it was like decent fun. So, and I was like, I can't watch it yet. I got to watch the first one. So that's my number 3.
Okay. My number 3 is a little film called Return to Seoul. This was a film that released last year, but finally hit Australian cinemas this year. I think it was Oscar nominated. I can't remember. But about a Korean-born girl who grew up in France but then goes back to Seoul. Apparently, very rave reviews across the board. Sitting at 97 on the Rotten Tomatoes. Just released on rental.
No, it's been out for rental for a while, and I say this because I've had
released.
No, because I've had it sitting on my fucking Apple TV watch list for ages. And I was nearly going to put it on my list, and I was like, can I justifiably say that when I've been sitting here for a month not having actually put in the effort to just rent it? Is that I really want to watch this movie.
I didn't. It's films we've missed so far.
Yeah,
so
okay.
once we haven't got.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's my number 3. Dylan, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is The Outer Waters. So this is a horror film that came out earlier. I think it was like around February or something like that. It doesn't have an Australian release date yet. I actually don't know much about it. All I know is it was scaring the living fuck out of people, and people kept saying it was like one of the scariest things I've watched in ages. I think it's like a found footage type thing. I've not watched the trailer. I've not watched anything. I've seen people also have reactions of this is the worst horror movie ever made, and then also say it's the best horror movie, and then like all these things. All I know is it's highly talked about horror movie of the year. I need to watch it. I need to have my 2 cents. But because I refuse to watch the trailer, I just sort of want to go in. And I've seen a lot of people say that it's best to just go in not knowing anything, and it'll just be like a wild ride. So I don't know anything about it, but I want to watch it. There you go.
My number 2 is a similar vein. It's Patan. So this is the big Bollywood action film of the year. It seemed to be, from what I've seen, the triple R of this year. Crazy action thriller. Played in cinemas, made the highest grossing one of the year, I think. Made a solid amount of money here in Australia. Got rave reviews. Regarded as one of the best action movies of the year. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. Apparently, it is streaming on Prime Video now. So, yeah, Patan. I think I'm saying it right. Pathan. It's words. Still, what's the number 1?
Number 1 is How to Blow Up a Pipeline. So this is a movie I really, really want to watch. Still doesn't have an Australian release date. Probably won't come out until next year. I don't know. But I like, as far as movies that have come out so far this year, and I've seen people talk about it like months ago, because that's when I think it was shown in America earliest, months ago. This is still sitting very high on my list of things I would love to watch ASAP.
All right. My number 1 is another movie that I could have seen by now, but just have not gotten around to doing it. After Sun. The Charlotte Wells film that everybody seemed to be talking about end of last year. Everybody seemed to have seen last year, but only really seen here in Australian cinemas this year. Apparently a fantastic performance by Paul Mescal. Earned him an Academy Award nomination. Haven't watched it yet. You know? I think it was Buddy's favorite movie of last year.
I think it was,
memory.
yeah.
No. It was Triangle Sadness.
But this was on that list.
Another movie that he... Yeah, it was very high on his list. Haven't watched it.
I like how your list is like, here's stuff I could have watched, but I haven't. And mine's like, here's movies I'd love to watch, but I can't. Apart from one. Like, one or two.
Yeah, this is my motivation to get around and watching these movies, putting myself on blast.
My list is to try and get people... Yeah, mine is the poor Australian can't watch the... Please release your movies here. A24 and whoever does Outer Wars. Actually, I don't know who's fucking doing that.
Shout out to Nadine Whitney, who put out a tweet. You know how they've got apparently the Barb movies banned in Vietnam because they've got the 3 dots.
Yeah.
She made a joke that because Tasmania is not on the map.
Yeah, that was pretty
part
funny.
of Australia that has been banned.
Yeah.
Banned in Tasmania. Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it's not banned here. Still Flicks with the Tricks screening next week. So.
All right, Dylan. This week,
God fucking damn it, man!
I mean, it's not that hard this week.
I know.
It's really not.
The
that
answer
hard.
is Mission Impossible, but I need to pick a TV show. All right, so the movie is Mission Impossible. What's it called? Dead Reckoning. Yes.
Part 1.
Yes. All right, got it. Cool. Obviously, that's the thing I care the most about. So we're watching that on Saturday. What a weird time. Booked my ticket already.
It is again trying desperately to get away from Oppenheimer and Barbie as far as they possibly could. Also, it's kind of weird that Australia has become the press center of the world
because of
where Tom Cruise had been opening here in Australia. Margot Robbie and Greta Gerwig are doing laps of Australia, or they're doing a bunch of press here as well. That's another interesting, actually, wrinkle of why Elemental and probably Indiana Jones didn't do well at the box office. Is there's no late night TV shows, so they got no interview talk shows running at the moment that were, usually get people to go watch movies. So yeah, what you found on the TV front?
I got nothing actually. I don't think I got nothing. So yeah, I'll just pick my one movie and call it a day. I mean, I'm watching I'll give a runner-up movie then. Joyride. I'm watching on Wednesday.
I mean, Mission Impossible, Dry Ride. What a fantastic double feature of people doing crazy stunts, like pulling stuff out of the butt.
Yep.
On the TV front, so there's on Disney Plus they're doing this animated anthology series called Kizaru Moto, which they talked about Disney Plus Day a few years ago. It's like an anthology series done by a bunch of African animation studios. That looks cool and probably is the most interesting new release TV series this week. Yeah. Well, let us know what you are excited to watch this week by going to explosionerect.com/Twitter, maybe if it's still working, but also definitely explosioner.com/Discord. If you want to help us out here at What Do You Want to Watch, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave 5 stars. Anywhere can leave 5 stars. Or just tell people about the show. And if you've enjoyed this episode, thought it was worth $1, head on over to our Ko page at explosioner.com/support. Thank you very much for listening. Until next time. Keep watching stuff, I guess.